welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're doing a very well needed CE class and a fundraiser for school supplies. I'm Rashada Hemingway with Hemingway Estates team. I'm with eXp Realty. I have a few team members here. I have my upline Daniel Ng, Carolyn Hooker, Camille, right? Toby. I'm sorry, how you pronounce your last name? Okay, that one. Jim Gonzalez. And anybody else EXP here? Oh, I'm so sorry, Kevin. Kevin Sue, right?
I know, that's kind of
all right, my bad. I'm so sorry. I don't see you often. So we're going to be conducting a class here for the new contracts. And Grace, truly titled, Honorable Grace. She's going to be teaching us about the contracts, and I want to give a big thanks to our sponsors. Gabriel, he's with Armadillo Home Warranty, and he'll tell you all about that later. I'm going to let him speak, as well as Chris Crenshaw with New American Funding. Yes. So I'm going to let them tell you about their business, and then we can eat, and then we'll start the class at around noon, right? Okay. All righty. Well, hope you enjoy yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. And check-in. Check-in is going to be on the laptop. If you want your CE credit, business cards are going to be in this cup. I'm going to go around and collect them. Yes, we have some gift cards and some giveaways. So, and just want you guys to have fun here and enjoy yourselves. If you missed the Wi-Fi thing, it's the Harbor Hill is the name, and Harbor Wi-Fi, all lowercase, is the password. It's working for some, not working for others. Don't know why. If you need to use the bathroom, go down the hallway past the gym on the left-hand side. You'll find the bathrooms. And enjoy yourself. Let's have some fun.
Okay. Do you want them to come up?
Oh, no, I'll go around. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. You want to write on a piece of paper or something? That's fine. Your name didn't change, did it?
My name is the same.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Okay. You got one? No. Drop a business card for the raffle. I'll come back around. I'll come back. Shannon, do you have a business card for the raffle? Okay. I know you do. Okay, and I met you before. What's your name? Oh, okay. Where did we meet? Oh, okay. Oh, yes. That's right. So you're a realtor now. Oh, okay. Working on it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Business card? Okay. Okay. You're not qualified.
That's right. That's okay.
Huh. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess whichever one of you guys want to go first.
Oh, you want to pass the mic? Pass the mic.
I'll go last.
Oh, yes.
You'll
the
go
mic.
last? Tell us the shortest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Thank you.
What are you in
Oh,
front?
okay, that's fine. Okay.
Real short?
How you doing, Daniel? Good to see you.
All right. If you don't, I was gonna say, if you don't have one, just write it on.
We'll measure them.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because those miniature cows come up to here.
Do they?
Uh-huh.
Wow. We saw some. She loved them.
She'll get to hug all over
But
them.
they were behind the glass. They didn't have them out. So she was real sad. She was like, oh, Jane. And I was like, then you sent that text.
Thank you.
She was like, can we go? I was like, yeah, sure.
Whoever's passing the mic.
Absolutely. Here you go. You want to go first? Say a few words?
If you want.
Okay. I don't know if I need the mic.
Well, it's for the live stream,
Oh, okay. All right.
so you can clip it on, so you don't have to worry about it.
So it's out in the world.
Here we go. I'll be quick. Good morning. My name is Chris Crenshaw. I am a producing branch manager for the Rockwall office for New American Funding. If you've never heard of New American Funding, we're a pretty large mortgage company. We're the 11th largest in the U.S. We're in all 50 states. So I run our local office here in Rockwall. Been in lending since 2012 and run a team here. Probably the most thing that we are known for is our unique products and programs that other banks and lenders don't have. The most popular being our cash program. Whereas if you're working with clients that are in a contingency situation, nobody likes those. They found the perfect one, and of course theirs isn't ready to sell, and it's a mess, and you're having to stage and do all these things, and it can be very hectic. We eliminate all of that with our cash program, where essentially we will purchase the home that they select for them in cash. You will work with us. You get paid. Everything's all on the up and up. We provide proof of funds. We close that transaction in as little as 7 days. That client then moves into their new home immediately after closing, and you can get theirs ready to sell. And once theirs is sold, we then do the mortgage for them at that time, which allows them to put a larger down payment if maybe they have a lot of equity in theirs that they want to tap into. It eliminates any type of we can't qualify for 2 mortgages at one time situations. So it's a really great program. Not many, if any, mortgage companies or banks have something unique like that. So we've got some really cool stuff. That's just one of many things that we offer. So
I'm sorry, Chris, what was the name of that program?
the name of that program is NAF Cash. So New American Funding, NAF Cash. NAFcash.com actually is the website where you can read up. We've got some great videos, some literature on it and how it works. But it's really, really cool. If you're in a situation where somebody falls in love with something, or maybe they want to sell their home, but they think, well, what if ours sells quickly and we haven't found the next one? And then we're in a rush and now we're just settling, right? There's 101 scenarios where it's applicable. And really, it's even for somebody that doesn't already currently have a home and they're a first-time home buyer, let's just say. Maybe they're a veteran and they like a home and a conventional offer is beating them out, right? What do they do in that search situation? So we'll do that for veterans as well. We'll buy that home in cash and then immediately turn around and do the VA loan. Obviously, it's not applicable for any FHA buyers just because of the 90-day flipping rules that FHA has. So until those rules change, it's just for your conventional and your veteran buyers. But really great program. Like I said, one of many things that we do a little bit different that you maybe haven't heard of. So we like to think outside of the box. Our average closing time frame for my team is about 15 days right now. So we turn things around very quickly. Jim knows we've worked with him and a few others. So if you have any questions, I've got some cards up here, and obviously I'll be here as well learning from Grace. So
And then if y'all are interested, perhaps maybe we could get a class together or something with you on that? Or?
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that we absolutely can do. We can do a class. Typically what we'll do in that situation is we do want the realtor as well as the client to go through a 1-hour training course to be certified. And the reason being is that obviously this program does have some costs and fees, right? We're not shelling out $600,000 at no cost. So we do that certification. It's 1 hour long. Once you do it, you're done forever. But what it does is it really informs the client so that they can make a decision on whether or not that's something that's appropriate for them. It's feasible. It's within their budget. We're very transparent about what it is. We don't make money when we sell the home to them, right? What we buy it for, we sell it to them for. If we negotiate, or if you rather negotiate for the seller to pay title policy, for example, when we purchase it, we're going to pass that on to them as well, right? So we're not going to go anything over, above, and beyond. But yeah, we could do a training class on that if you're interested. Really a bunch of different scenarios where it can be applicable, and there's not much out there in the market that fits that need. And if you're struggling with folks that don't want to list their home and sell and then be homeless or move twice or live with the in-laws, if anybody's ever done that, not too fun. But yeah, we can talk and set something up. Maybe when it cools down.
Who would be interested in the 1 hour? Okay, so we'll get something together in the fall.
All right, that sounds good. Very good. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be here. Otherwise, my cards are up here on the pool table. So,
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Gabriel.
There you go. Got it.
Square clap.
All right. Well, it's almost officially afternoon. How are you guys doing? Good morning. My name is Gabriel McLean, and I am with Armadillo Home Warranty. Just a show of hands, how many of you guys have heard of Armadillo Home Warranty? All right. Well, for those of you guys that have not heard about us, consider today to be your lucky day. All right. Good to see some friends that I haven't seen in a while here today. Let's talk about home warranties. What do we love about home warranties? What do we love about home warranties?
They take care of issues that would normally cost a home and a leg.
Right. That they cover items that could definitely cost an arm and a leg at the end of the day. What else do we love about home warranties?
It teaches the first-time buyer to know that they have a 1-year warranty. And if into the home.
Right.
Exactly. Peace of mind for those buyers that are moving in that don't know exactly how to, what to do or what to deal with when they're moving into their home. Anything else that we love? Okay.
Gabriel got your back.
That's it. That's the best answer. That Gabriel has your back. I have actually been in the industry now for about almost 16 years. And most people that have worked with me know that I will fight for them and their clients. So I take a lot of home warranty stuff off of their plate. Definitely excited about that. Let me ask you guys the opposite of that question. What do we hate about home warranties? I normally get all the answers from this one. What's that? Contractors. Contractors. Dealing with their contractors. What else?
Things not covered.
Things not being covered. Things not being covered. Fine print. What else? Anything else we can think of? Many people talk about the process the whole time. Well, one of the things, beautiful things about working with me in Armadillo Home Warranty is we are considered the new age of home warranty. We understand that home warranties were created in 1970. Most people don't know they were actually created by two realtors. Two realtors who got tired of being sued by their buyers saying, hey, you sold me this lemon. And they said, we got to get this off of our plate. How do we get this off our plate? They created home warranties. So I'm excited to introduce myself to definitely take a lot of those things off of your plate. But the truth is home warranties have not changed since 1970. They continue doing the exact same thing. And if your mom was like my mom, doing the exact same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome is called what? Insanity. Exactly. So it hasn't changed. One of the things that we've done, we've decided to change the way that the home warranty industry is ran. You guys mentioned some of the issues, as we hear all the time, is the process for filing a claim. The claim process is delayed. It takes a long time. Traditional home warranty companies will tell your client, hey, you got to call in, file a claim. You're going to wait on hold probably an hour right now in the summertime just to even tell them, hey, my AC is not working. My refrigerator is broken. They're going to say, you know what, give me 4 to 5 business hours for a contractor to call you. One of the amazing things about Armadillo Home Warranty is that we allow our clients not only to file their claims online or through the phone, but we've been able to, what we do is we ask them, when do you want a contractor to come out to your home? What are your top 3 preferred dates and times that you want a contractor to come? We grab that information, we put that into our network and allow our contractors to begin fighting for one of those top slots. So we're able to save homeowners hours and hours of having to wait and figure out when someone's going to actually show up to their home. The other thing that you guys mentioned is contractors. Why are contractors normally a horrible part of the real estate, the home warranty company? Why are contractors normally bad? Who knows?
Some are unprofessional.
Unprofessional. What else? Unreliable. What else?
Their verbiage is horrible.
Normally communication from them. The truth is, the real reason why most contractors are bad when it comes to home warranty companies is because it's a money game. They know that a home warranty company is only going to pay them $50, and they say, traditional home warranty companies say, hey, I'm going to pay you $50 whether or not you're there for 5 minutes or for 5 hours. What do you think that contractor is going to choose? 5 minutes. In and out as soon as possible. He also knows that if he doesn't do it right the first time, he can come back and make another $50. Or he knows if he can get the claim denied, then he can upsell your client and be able to make some money on the back end. One of the things that we do is we actually give our clients, our contractors, we give them incentives to make sure they get the job done, and we pay them a variable fee based off of the job and the amount of time they spend there doing that work. So we're able to get more reliable contractors at the end of the day. The other thing about contractors, when you're working with traditional home warranty companies,
I'm sorry.
yes, ask.
What does that exactly mean when you say you pay your contractor a variable fee? For instance, if you have an HVAC company that needs to come over and you have a pre-existing system, and all of a sudden it's Texas, it's 108. So you pay them if they need to do a reinstall. What do you?
So variable fees, meaning traditional home warranty companies are going to say, I'm only paying you $50 across the board, no matter how long you're there. We don't pay them a flat fee. We actually pay them based off of the job and the time they have to spend to get the job done right the first time. So variable, it fluctuates. Yep. Exactly. And just saying, hey, there's a flat fee. We're only paying you this amount. The other thing is, as we were talking about contractors, most traditional home warranty companies are going to tell you, hey, whenever you have a claim, you have to use my contractor. How many of you guys like, we just stated many of the reasons why we don't like utilizing those contractors. Guess what? Armadillo Home Warranty is one of the only home warranty companies that allows every one of our clients the flexibility and power to choose. Every time they get ready to file a claim, we're going to say, hey, do you want me to get you a contractor, or do you have a contractor you already have a relationship with? And if they want to use their contractor, guess what? We'll say, go ahead, get that contractor to come out and utilize that contractor instead of utilizing one of our contractors. By doing that, that allows us to help rebuild confidence in the system. It also allows us to be able to service clients a whole lot faster. On weekends, when you call a traditional warranty company, they're not going to put it in until Monday morning. But guess what? If you utilizing your own contractor, guess what? If you want to get them out on a Saturday or a Sunday morning, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and say, go ahead and get that contractor out and utilize that contractor, saving them a lot of hours, a lot of days of headaches at the end of the day. So that is Armadillo in a nutshell. Any questions for me? Yes.
So sometimes, they add extra fees if they come out on the weekend. You comp them for that?
For if you get your own contractor, there are some contractors that will. What we would do is at the end of so I won't say we comp them for if they come out. We won't comp them, but what we do is we ask what are their total price, and then based off of that we would determine how much we'll spend out for that claim. So yeah. So we won't say we were looking to see the additional, but you don't have to, one thing, your client won't have to pay a service call fee if they're utilizing their own contractor. So oftentimes that money they want to use for the service call fee can go directly to that contractor. Any other questions for me? Yes.
What is your, you may not have that, but I know you're in Texas, because of
Mhm.
air conditions. What's your response time from when air conditioning breaks down, like the time between them repairing it? And what happens with the homeowner while they're waiting?
So one of the things, whenever they call, like I said, one of the things we ask them, when do they want a contractor to come? And oftentimes, 90% of the times, we can get them to come in on one of those first top slots that homeowner actually wants the contractor to come out, because we put that information into our network. So we're able to get a contractor out. Oftentimes, we try to say, hey, within 24 to 48 hours is what we recommend at the end of the day, that we try to have a contractor out. Now, repairing definitely varies based off of what's wrong, what part is needed, if there are a part, if we have to order certain things that we can't get it. So it definitely varies based off of that. So it's a case-by-case scenario. But on average, I want to say we normally have someone backing up and running within 48 to 72 hours. Any other questions for me? Awesome. Well, definitely. Thank you guys.
Again for the food.
Thank you.
Eat something, please.
Yes.
So you all are gonna hear from me.
I can put that on here if you want.
So all of you are gonna hear from me in the next hour. So if y'all wanna go ahead and grab your food, if that's okay. I know that the aroma of Olive Garden is getting to y'all. Thank you, Gabriel.
You're welcome.
Fly is not invited.
Oh, he's still here?
He's still here. Unknown fly.
Oh, I just saw him too.
Yes.
You like this one here? Have you been happy with everything so far?
This is my first time.
Oh, it's your first time?
Well, as to teach.
4-year-old birthday party next door.
14.
Oh, 14. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because that's where we originally were going to be, but it's first come, first served. But I was like, I kind of like the setup. It's not that bad. Yeah. Yeah, I taught this at Manny's in Saxe.
Do what?
I taught this at Manny's in Saxe.
Yeah.
So the rest of the restaurant really got to hear about TREC contracts. Yeah, there is. So y'all get all of that.
And the trash is in the corner here.
Here, let me.
Chris. Oh, right over on the other side of the waters. Grab one.
And I put my information, I think, in your link tree. But here's our cards for the escrow officers. You could just take this copy. And if you have time on Friday to pop by our office.
Okay.
And then that way you can meet the girls.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I'll try to see if I can.
Yeah, it's from 10 to 2. So anytime between there. We're going to have Santa, Highland Cows. There's a photographer. So we do like events.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And I open it.
good.
And these big events, I usually do quarterly.
Okay.
We open them up to the public because
Yes.
we want agents to bring their clients and all the things. So,
Right. I love that.
and then the next big one we'll have is a trunk or treat. So I'll reach out to y'all for that.
Please do. Let me know about that.
Tell me about the balloons.
The balloons.
Are you mic'd up enough? Tell me
No,
about it.
I tied them to a lipstick and they like flew off apparently. And he's like, I guess that's, he's like, you told me you did it. I was like, I did, because I even met the seller out there. And I was like, hi. And they were like, shouldn't my agent be doing that? I was like, I mean, I'm not going to throw him under the bus. And then it was really windy that day. But there was also some kids kind of playing in the neighborhood. So, but he still swears I did not put those balloons on there. And I'm like,
I'll bring it up.
yeah. I was like, I know I did, because I was like sweating my eyebrows off.
But yeah, you guys could partner up.
Oh, so crazy.
I probably am, but the algorithms only show you whoever.
We didn't have it.
Wonder if they can hear me drinking my coffee.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of took off in July. I needed a little bit of a break. Yeah, you'll get the list and everything. It's no worries.
Thank you.
And I've been emailing RSVPs, so then that way you can see who came and did it. What you do with that is up to you, brother.
Yeah, that's it. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's what I think it's hurts.
Yeah.
They couldn't change it at all. Unless they had, unless
Worry about it.
from Expedia. From Expedia. And request those changes.
I'll make sure your stuff is out. I'll make sure your truck gets.
Oh, well, I'll come back. I'll come back. If I need to, I'll come back. You don't
I
have to
could take it, and you can just come by the tree office, or I can pop by your house or whatever, drop it off.
I don't know if it will. I don't
Yeah, I know.
what's happening, so that's where I'm like, I'm gonna.
It's like you panic.
Yeah, it is a little bit. So, but if I do, I'll come back.
I know, right? I know, good for you, girlfriend. And then he didn't get registered in, so just make sure. I figured, because I'm saying, hey, the class starts at 12.
Yes.
So then you might have a few
more
come
people
in.
make sure. And I'm probably going to come back up after we're done with the introduce myself again and then bring Daniel up to speak. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you know if this is getting live streamed too? Just
Yes,
y'all's
it is.
platform?
It is on YouTube. I mean, on We Partners Network. Yes, it's Daniel's page. Name. I can see you. I'll text you the link. Okay. Oh, yay! The hero! Yeah, like I said, it's got all down. Okay. Do you know Jeffrey Cannon? He's not here. He's not local.
You all right? You all right?
Oh, Indiana.
Flew in? Yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not that bad though. It's not even.
Yeah.
Michigan has a little more people.
I didn't know about that program though.
Yeah. That's great. That was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit about So I grew up in West Michigan. Sorry. Pretty small. So I went to college at West Michigan University. Also in the same time. Yeah. So I had in general business, graduated.
Hey, everyone's got food, drinks, food and drinks. Okay, perfect. All right.
So I mean, this trip, the trip
I'm sure he gets registered in.
I mean, over there.
If he can register.
Really know any.
If he's wanting to. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started if that's all right. Can you hear me okay? Okay. So my name is Grace Rogers, and I am the sales executive and business development partner for Truly Title. Has anyone ever used Truly Title? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I got Chris over there. Yeah, and we have some deals working. So if you haven't, we would love for you to give us a chance. So I am an agent myself. I just don't actively sell. So I have 12 years in the business of REOs, short sales, and foreclosures. So that was my forte. Also a recruiter for larger firms and brokerages. So if you need help adding to your team and leverage, would love to be of service. And I love teaching agents. So luckily I am able to teach some CE classes. This is one of the CE classes that I offer. There's 3 other ones, including realtor safety, which I think is extremely important for y'all. And we do fun events as well. So coming from the foreclosure realm, having to get rid of squatters, which we'll also cover in this curriculum here, we do a gun safety shoot as well. So we do that once a month. So if you're wanting to be more familiar with firearms or just with your firearm, would love to collaborate with you on that. So another thing is, if you haven't registered, please register here. And then I will be sending out a hard copy sheet for you to sign as well. So I'll send that out in the next 15 minutes or so. Okay. We do have a big event this Friday at our office, and it's called Christmas in July. We are going to have Santa there, and he's going to be dressed Hawaiian. Obviously, it's July. We have 2 Highland cows. They're about this big. So, I mean, they're as big as me. And you can take pictures with them. So we have a photographer there. So for all of you agents that need a reason to reach out to your clients, this would be it, right? Hey, we have this amazing event. You could use we, right? It's already paid for. So Truly Title is offering this to you. So make it easy for you to reach out to your clients and your friends and family, and selfishly take photos with these Highland cows. We'll also have local boutiques there too. So if you're wanting to shop, and SJ's from Kaufman, which is a shaved ice truck, will be there. So think of it as a client appreciation event and use us as leverage to help get back in front of your clients. You know, who here touches their database all the time? They follow up with their clients all the time. We don't have
Have a great day.
yeah.
Whatever.
We don't have like what is that bias, that client bias sometimes, like, ooh, you know what? I really haven't talked to them in a while, so I'll go to the next one, right? So this would be an easy way for you to touch those clients.
And what time is that?
It's going to be from 10 to 2 on Friday at the Truly office in Heath, so it's just right up the street. Santa and the Highland Cows will be there from 12 to 2. So, but the boutiques and all that will be there at 10 a.m. So, and if you're needing to ever do training classes, we offer a ton of training classes. I think in April, I did about 36 trainings or events. If you need help in leverage, open houses, broker opens, those kind of things, just let me know as I do, the marketing and things like that. I also help serve on MetroTex. So our meetings for the Rowlett Rockwall area, which currently is at OPA, we're looking at a new location, but that's at OPA in Rowlett, and that's the first Thursday of the month. And then also serve and help on the Henderson County Board of Realtors, which is Cedar Creek Lake. So if any of you work out that area and want to do classes, I'll come to you. Like, thank you, Rashada, for having me out. So, yes. So any questions before I get started? No? How many of you have written an offer after July 1st? Contract. Okay. So you've seen a little bit of the changes, right? Okay, perfect.
Not bad.
Yeah, so today we're gonna cover, it's just a few things. I think the groundwater and the conservation district is gonna be the biggest things. Just so you know, if you had pre-registered for the class and RSVP'd, I went ahead and sent out the slides as well as the links for groundwater and whatnot. But after this class, I can resend them to you too. And then on the top of here is a one-sheeter of just the changes. So everything that's happened from January all the way to July 1st, okay? All right, so today, this is what we're gonna be covering, the recap of January 1st, the adopted rules that have changed, new contract form changes, and we will cover a little bit of some proposed that's coming up, okay? And I just want to make a disclaimer. I do not work for TREC, the Texas Real Estate Commission. Just putting it out there. So don't. So comments and concerns, there will be a slide. But I do not work for them. And if it is okay, all of us understand that TREC is the Texas Real Estate Commission, correct? Would you be okay with me saying TREC instead of?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank y'all. All right. So here we go. The TREC authority and background. So we'll be covering the Real Estate License Act, the Inspector Act, and the Timeshare Act. So as you can see, it governs, real estate license holders, property inspectors, as well as timeshare activities. So anyone in here investors themselves and have timeshares or looking into doing it? Okay. All right. So how the Texas legislature and TREC work together, okay? So the easiest way, it's hard for me to kind of see this, sorry. I guess I'll hold it. Do you need to close the window?
It doesn't close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have notes here, sorry y'all. Okay, so the relationship between the Texas legislature and Texas Real Estate Commission is best understood as lawmaker versus law implementator, okay? Partnership. So really turning law into daily practice. So after a law is passed with TREC, it creates detailed rules and forms. So that defines how real estate agents do business, okay? So an example, the legislature says require written buyer agreements, what forms are used, when they must be signed, and how they are enforced. So the most simple way to put these two into effect is that the legislature says what and TREC defines how it's done. Okay. So on here, January 1st was a big turning point for us. So this isn't just another form update. This is a big shift on how agency representation and transactions are handled in our state. Okay, so the things that had the key takeaways were buyer written agreements are now required, which technically, probably with your brokerages, it was required already. So I'm not understanding how people were just wild westing out there without them, right? Y'all all use buyer agent agreements. Yeah, okay, perfect. Sub-agency has been eliminated, okay? That was confusing to everyone, right? I think teaching this class earlier last month, I probably had one broker that said that they used sub-agency like 25 years ago and that was about it. So that's taken out of the contract. New non-representation option introduced. Eviction and notice rules have been adopted and updated, sorry. Broker requirements doubled. How many of you are looking at becoming a broker? Yeah, so we'll talk about that. And then the new TREC realm system that launched in December. We will cover that as well. Yeah. Again, I just delivered the content. Okay. So this is the big one. So I have to give you a little bit of background education. So just hang in with me a little bit. So the big one, Senate Bill 1968, okay? So this Senate Bill of 1968 passed and took effect January 1st of 2026. So this bill changes how you interact with every buyer. So consumer clarity is the driver, right? TREC and the legislator want consumers to understand exactly who represents them. Okay, so truly, I think most of you are already doing this, but it's blatantly clear inside the contract now. Okay, today we'll discuss the changes. So that Senate bill, the majority changes will have included the written buyer representation agreements, a new non-representation status, all references of sub-agencies is out of the contract. And then TREC can now notify brokers of complaints filed against their agents, which I think that was already being done, but now it's like automatic, right? Through the system. Not that any of you are in trouble, right? Okay. Because y'all are here, right? Okay, the buyer representation requirement. Okay, so no agreement, no advice. So this is the new requirement under section 1101.563. And so what you need to know is that any act of real estate brokerage for a prospective buyer or of residential property. So what that means is you can unlock a door. That's a hard stop. So the moment you start giving, sharing, giving advice, sharing opinions, you are now a fiduciary, right? And you can't do that if you don't have a buyer's rep agreement, okay? So don't get caught doing it, okay? We have those filled out. So now TREC has made a non-representation option. Has anyone started using that yet? Yeah. So, and the reason for that is you can show without representing, right? So you won't find yourself in a predicament without something signed, right? So obviously this is a very limited tool. We want to represent a client, but how many of you take a lead, go open up a door? No? No one's ever done it in the past? Yeah. Okay. I know we're being recorded, so yeah, I get it. Okay, so this is not a loophole into not having that buyer agreement signed. This is just saying, hey, I have 14 days to be able to open a door and do those things, right? So there are strict limits. A maximum of a 14-day term, must be non-exclusive. You cannot give advice, opinions, or negotiate. You can only show the property. And so this is the TX 1508 form. It's called Unrepresented Customer Showing Form. Okay. And so that's, hey, nobody wants to do that. Okay. Yeah. So this form is very specific for that purpose, right? If you took a call, like a sign call or whatever it may be, whatever your situation is. Okay. Simplified agency. So this one was a win for all of us as realtors and, to be honest, the consumer. So sub-agency created endless confusion. A buyer would work with an agent thinking that the agent represented them, but legally the agent was a sub-agent of the listing broker, right? So any of y'all did sub-agency in any of your contracts before? No, right? And your broker probably told you we don't do that. Yeah, perfect. Now it's simple. You either represent the buyer or you don't. So the end of the sub-agency, all of that wording is now out of the contracts. Perfect? So now we don't even have to mess up trying to explain it to the client, right? All right, so January 1st, these updated forms, you have, as you can see, a new IABS, which is information about brokerage services. Listing agreements were updated. Compensation language has changed. And I'm just going to give you a heads up. It's probably going to change again. Okay. How many times has it changed now? Like 5 times in the past few years? I know. It's crazy. Seller temporary lease is now required. And then the contract notice section simplified. So the biggest things to kind of take from this is the seller's temporary residential lease became mandatory on January 5th of this year, 2026. The notice section of the 1 to 4 family residential contract in paragraph 21 got cleaned up. So the email, fax, contact fields are combined. Yep.
But the seller's temporary lease was already built into the 1 to 4, correct?
No.
There was a slot where if the house, if the property sold, and the seller needed to stay in, let's say for a month, they would have to, and it's closed already, they would have to be leasing from the buyers for that 30-day period. And there was forms for that.
Well, forms for it to attach to, right? Not inside the contract.
That's a good question, because that's my question. Because I thought it was actually in the 1 to 4.
I think it was a check mark. So I can follow up with you. It was if you were going to, then correct. Yes. Yes. But not verbiage, like actual verbiage inside there. Yes. Mm-hmm. Great question. The email and fax both still count as valid ways to deliver notice and to make those blanks filled in. So how many of you, y'all have seen contracts quite a bit. I'm assuming y'all have written quite a few offers and under contracts and sold. So in that section where it has, and I'm speaking on the title side, where it has the information for the parties, how many of you fill that out? Yes. So let me go ahead and tell you this, and you can ask your broker. Technically, without it, it is not a full contract. So I understand, and this is what I get. This is what I get from agents is, well, I don't want the other people reaching out to the other party. Okay, fair. But as the title company, how are we supposed to deliver information to your client when you just put your email on there? So now you as an agent are responsible to make sure everything that we send them is delivered to them. Is that the responsibility that we want?
No.
Correct. So make sure when you do send that contract to Truly Title that you have that seller's information in the email and let us know, hey, it's not on the contract, because guess what? You are held responsible for all the things, right? And there's HOA, there's all kinds of things. And then goodness, if it's like an affidavit, an airship or whatnot, and you're trying to do all that. So just know that's very important to us. to have that information to reach out to them as soon as possible to get documents to help y'all get it to the closing table on time. So you might want to talk to your broker about that, but technically it's not a really executed contract at that point. Okay. Listing agreements got updates too. So paragraph 5, broker compensation was revised. Paragraph 15, cooperation with other brokers had sub-agencies reference were gone. Perfect. All right. So modern communication. So email notices are now allowed. So yes, you can tell us you're terminating the contract. We still need a termination of contract and release of earnest money. And you'd be amazed how many top producing agents are like, no, I'm notifying you now. Nah, sis, you have to actually write it out, okay? And the parties have to agree. But thank you for letting us know. We won't put this file anymore, right? So yes, even though you send an email, we got it. And the other seller, the buyer might be notified, but technically you still have to have that termination of contract and release of earnest money, okay? Any questions there? No? Cool. So this applies to contracts and notices. Documentation is critical. Email notice comes with documentation requirements, as I had mentioned. You need to be responsible with that documentation and when it needs to get to us, right? So urgency is a pretty big thing in our field and being a fiduciary. So let us know. I mean, I'll have agents shoot a text or email, and then I'll notify the escrow officers, right? Like, hey, this is terminating. You know, they're also going to send a release of earnest money. That's just one example. Not that we want things to be terminating, especially in today's market, right? No, okay. So listing agreement updates, okay? So the compensation conversations with the sellers has changed. With MLS offers of buyer agent compensation gone, thanks to the NAR settlement, National Association of Realtors, you need to explain the new landscape to your sellers. So how many of you sit down with your sellers and do consultations, right? I mean, you probably have a full presentation. You want to make sure that they understand how you get paid, right? And the things that go on. So how will the buyer's agent get paid? You know, what are their options? The listing agreement updates for 2026 go above those form changes. So this is about how you position your listings and how you advise your sellers, right? So I think now we're having to have even more communication with the new verbiage that's in there on compensation of how people get paid, right? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So this is going to be landlord and evictions. So how many of you are investors currently? Or do you work with investors? Okay, you work with investors. Okay. How many of them had to have called for evictions or release someone from property? Yeah. Okay. How did that go? Was it a long process?
Well,
It can be.
I haven't too much been involved in that part.
Mhm.
Can't do,
Yeah.
property management. I've given him direction as to, go to the courthouse.
Yep. Okay. What about you, Jim?
Same thing, have a property manager that deals with that.
Yeah.
It just kind of keeps me up to date with what's going on.
Yeah. And sometimes it
And the
can.
different options, right?
Yeah. So typically it's usually a lengthier process, right? So Texas squatter and eviction laws. So if you work with investors or landlord clients, you need to know about the Senate bill or SB 38 and the SB 1333. Governor Abbott signed these laws to address what he called a squatting crisis here in Texas. Okay. So the SB 1333, which was effective of September of last year, so 2025, created a fast track removal process for unauthorized occupants. And the SB 38, which was effective of January 2026, streamlined evictions to a 20-day rocket docket out of there, right?
Yay.
Okay. So there are new criminal penalties of fraudulent leases too. So yeah.
Would a squatter have a lease? They wouldn't have a lease. They just occupy
Correct.
the environment. And so if so, now I mean, because and I guess the reason I'm really questioning this or asking
Yeah.
why this is here? Because I know the problem that we've had where people have been copying people's deeds and fraudulent deeds, but I hadn't heard of this yet.
Yeah, so that could be an example, and I could be wrong, but they have overstayed their lease, and now you can't get them out, right? So they should have been out, June 30th, and here they are today, still there, right? It's July 22nd, right? So this helps that process of making sure that they're out of there, and now they have additional criminal penalties that will be put on place for them.
So let me make sure, because if I have let's say I do a 12-month lease, and my lease ends and it goes month to month. But before it even goes month to month, since my landlord says I'm not renewing, he sends me a written notice, because
It has to be written.
He sends me a written notice saying I'm not renewing your lease. And the person gets it, they know they receive it, but they won't leave. Then they're holding over.
Correct.
So is this when this will come in place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they'll face, I'm sure, arrest and all that, but criminal penalties. So it's going to make it hard for them probably to rent and all that kind of stuff like later on as well. Okay. Okay. Broker requirement changes. So again, some of you in the room are looking at being brokers, right? Yeah. So if you're planning on getting your broker's license, these requirements just got tougher. Sorry, y'all. So that means the experience points required went from 360 to 720. Yeah. Education credit from a bachelor's degree is now capped at 300 hours. And, they pick which, classes that goes to. So that's a whole TREC thing. The broker responsibility course is now required for all brokers for renewal, regardless of whether you sponsor agents. So let's say you're your own person, right? Your own broker, but you have 0 agents. You still have to have it, right? That broker responsibility. Delegated supervisor changes or team leaders. How many of you run teams? Yep. You have team members? Okay. But they sell real estate? Okay.
I'm not a team lead, but we work together.
Right. And then in also brokerages, they might consider that like a productivity coach, a mentor, right? If you are responsible of someone and you're checking over their contracts, it is important that if you supervise or lead or direct a team more than 3 consecutive months, that has to be reported to TREC, meaning your license also needs to say supervisor on there. So you might want to check with your broker if you're mentoring or doing any of that. So important to note that notification window changed from 6 months to 3 months. So I like to tell people, hey, if you have anyone on your team, right, go ahead and put yourself as a supervisor. The requirement is you do have to take broker responsibility. If you're just like an agent, you don't have to have broker responsibility, but it is a requirement. So I know that's like a shell shock for a lot of people because they were like, I had no idea. And again, you probably want to check with your broker, but most of the large firms that I know are like, hey, yeah, we want to make sure that that's covered, especially if agents are helping other agents, even being mentors. Okay.
So, I'm sorry, Ms. Grace. So, it sounds like this was already in place because you said it went from 6 months to 3 months.
Correct.
But I guess it hadn't been widely discussed.
Correct.
And so I was wondering, but you did answer that question.
Okay.
If you're helping somebody, you do have to take the broker responsibility course, regardless of whether you're a broker or not, because you're assisting other agents.
Correct.
Is there any other class that they have to take in order to become a quote unquote
supervisor? No, just the broker responsibility per TREC. Now, your company might be different, right? So again, I would discuss it with your broker. And if you just want to cover yourself, then, might as well have it. Yeah.
And as long as it's like, let's say I help Jim or whatever,
right.
Jim helps me. And as long as we're not doing it's 30 consecutive, or it's
3 months.
3 months consecutively?
Right.
Or let's say we just called and talked and chat about
That's
something like
different.
you and I.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's different, right? You're not nourishing a relationship in which you're team members, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I do have to get it because I have 5 mentees.
There you go.
And it's taken more than 3 months to do mentorship.
Yes. Yeah, I get that question with a lot of brokers that do have those mentor responsibilities. So, and have mentees under them. So yes, that's something you'll probably want to discuss. Well, yay, we learned at least something today. Oh, yeah. So experience points, I want to say, and we're about to discuss that. I want to say, years ago, like a sale of a property was like 3 points or something like that, or 12 points, and now it's like 3 points. So let's see what it here. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So the experience points calculation also changed. It's now 3 points per transaction instead of 12 points per transaction. So you guys sell all of them. Yeah.
And this goes back to if she's, Rashada wants to be a broker.
Right.
This goes back from, let's say the day she started her first sale.
Uh-huh.
That's how they count it.
Yep. Yeah, because you'll report that from all your sales. So, let's say, year 1, you sold 8 homes, year 2, you sold 12. You would report, all of those and get credits for those. Mm-hmm.
And I guess the number of classes that you also take.
Correct.
TREC is a part of it. Okay.
Your CE hours. Yes, ma'am. So they count all that into effect. I think the biggest thing for a lot of people, especially if they're, they might not have a college degree to get some of those out of the way, or they might not have enough credit hours. So they were hoping their sales, because you'll have those that do, 58 homes a year or more, right? So now those 12 points have now become 3 points per transaction. It's crazy. They're making it a little bit harder to be a broker, which, I mean, to be honest, when you think about it, you're like, it stinks for us currently, right, that want to, but it's also, it needed to be done.
I think instead of them decreasing the fact that with the sales of 12 points, I think they should have increased the education part.
They did. It went from 360 to 720. 720 hours.
Yeah, I just think because the points is also
Sure.
in that 720. The sales points is in that 322. But I think they probably do have certain classes they
Correct.
have to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's just a little bit harder, to be a broker, but it's still doable. And just so you know, Truly Title does a lot of 3-hour classes for y'all. So whether it's residential, farm and ranch, or commercial. So we're here to help. I know, because Kim's like, I need some more hours. Okay, so the TREC Realm portal. Yeah? Okay, that opened up in of December of last year. So December 15th of 2025 is when it launched. So that system is a modern way for us to manage renewals, applications, documents, all the things. It's supposed to be available 24/7. No? The Realm.
No, so why are you saying no, it's not open 24/7?
No, is it? I'm getting some head nods. They're like, In December?
Yeah.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I think it dragged on to like maybe March.
Gotcha. And then we have someone over here that is looking at getting licensed, about to be licensed. And so you've probably had to be in the portal, yeah? Okay. Yeah. So it was taking 3 to 4 months for a newly licensed agent earlier this year to get licensed. Were you one of them or no?
No, I'm a team member.
Oh, okay.
Me too. It took 6 months.
Yeah. I mean,
6 months. Yes.
yes.
They were. They had a technical issue.
Yeah.
Transitioning from one system to the other.
Yeah.
To the Realm from TREC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a.
You had to like go register or something too, right? Like, so what payments you had to keep going back in there.
Yes. It was all the things. Good news for, I want to say on the TREC realm though, as a broker or as an agent, as soon as your license moves, the boards are notified. So there shouldn't be any interruption as long as you're, obviously you paid your board dues. On accessing property, right? So that's been a big plus for brokers from what I've heard, right? Again, we got to pay those dues, right? Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. So action plan for you. You're going to update your buyer consultation process, right? Use correct and current forms. I'm sure that most of y'all in your brokerage already have them updated, right, in your files. But for some of us who might be old school and just have it sitting there on our laptop, know that you got to do the update, okay? But some of y'all use like DocuSign or, Authentisign, zip forms. Okay, it's all updated. So if for some reason y'all had one saved, just know you need to go back and make sure it is updated. Because we even received a contract, I think, earlier this week that was an old contract. And the escrow officers were like, this is the old contract, isn't it, Grace? And I was like, yeah, they need to come to my class. So learn when those agreements are required, adjust your listing presentations, understand compensation conversations, and verify supervisor status with your broker, okay, if it's applicable. So now moving on to recently adopted rules that went into effect of May. So these are some of the bigger things here. So on our TREC number 55-1, which is seller's disclosure notice, okay? You might see that was kind of cleaned up a little bit. So that seller's disclosure notice, the biggest things to take away: 1, provide prospective buyer with information on whether the property is presently covered by insurance, including windstorm insurance, and whether the current seller has been unable to insure the property for any reason. Why do you think that would be so important?
Well, I mean, it depends. Are you buying it as is, or is there a disclosure saying that the roof has been repaired and it hasn't? And if that's the case, and you try to go get insurance and they come out as an inspector, the roof is not passing, so they're not going to.
Right. With all the windstorms and hail damage that we have, this is why, right? This is why also deductibles. I mean, you can probably get a 1.5% deductible, but now it's 2 or sometimes 3, right? On that. It's also a big thing because in the other part of the state, they have windstorms, right? So yeah. 2, inform a prospective buyer if there's a private road on an adjoining the property that the prospective buyer would be financially responsible for maintaining. So why would that be important? Anyone have that like on any of their files?
I always like there's no lease agreement. Like it's just a road, you're like, well, we're gonna make something and make this deal like happen. And so then everybody on that street has to come together. It's overly process.
Yes. What area? Okay. Okay, I believe it. Yeah, so you're seeing more and more of that, right? Like, who's going to maintain this road? Is there an easement? Like, who's responsible for infrastructure on this, and who can come in and out of it, right? Yeah. So. No, I know. Yeah. Oh, Texans. 3, provide the prospective buyer with information on existence of above ground storage tanks on the property that are more than 500 gallons and have stored petroleum products or other chemicals I would assume that would be very, very, like, we would need to do that. So now it's written in there, so just FYI. And then 4, tell a prospective buyer whether that property is located in a conservation easement. The seller's disclosure is updated to reflect those directives. So have y'all had training with your brokerage on how to fill out the contract on the water, groundwater, conservation? Okay. What are they telling y'all to automatically put if you're the buyer agent? Or do y'all reach out to the listing agent to find out?
Yes.
So that's your first. Because what I had been hearing was they were like, well, we don't know, right? Because it's new, right?
It's not required. And I thought she was telling Carolyn it wasn't required at all. So yes, it's required. It's in the contract.
It's in the
But she was
contract.
saying it wasn't required because there was no water source on the property.
Yeah, so then it would be 3, right?
Yeah,
there's
so 3.
there's the tick marks of 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
3 would be we're not aware, right? So I think that's what, hey, if you're not aware, I'm going to put that. We'll find out. But luckily, I sent y'all 3 links for groundwater, conservation, all of that. So you can check addresses and things like that too. Yeah. And I'll resend it to y'all. You're welcome. So 2 new forms that were effective of May. So one would be the standard contract form on TREC. The biggest things that have changed is the terms listing broker and other broker have been replaced with the terms seller broker and buyer broker. That was easier for agents as well as the consumer reading it, right? Now, TREC is here to protect the consumer, right? We're just governed, right? So, so yes, so it just makes it easier, right? Instead of other, it's buyer or seller broker. And then 2, the standard contract form in TREC, which is 62-0, seller's notice to buyer of removal of contingency under addendum for backup contract is new. So I'm sure that you agents have probably written backup contracts. Yeah. Okay. And then also contingencies, right? They're a contingency and a backup. So now you have a new one in there that has all of that in there. A seller's notice to the buyer of removal of a contingency addendum under backup contract has been drafted, which may be used in conjunction with the addendum together. So recently adopted rules that have taken place as of July 1st of this year. Okay, so we're going to kind of talk about that. So the biggest things to kind of take away on the 1 to 4 residential contract is the biggest changes are the terms generators have been added to paragraph 2B. So you're probably seeing more and more properties that have generators on them, right? Yeah, with all the storms and blackouts that we have, which I don't know what's wood, but I'm like, we don't need to be having those, considering how hot it is. In paragraph 5A, section 2, a definition of legal holiday has been provided for better clarity. Thank you. But yes, you'd be amazed how many agents are unable to process that, or clients, about the legal holiday and calendar days, not business days, of getting earnest money. So now with us having, Zocom and everything, you can wire those funds, not have to worry about it, get it done, right, for that earnest money and option money. In paragraph 5, in the receipt page, the terms option fee and earnest money and contract are now in lowercase. I know that like Rockjaw's world, but they're now lowercase. It's the biggest things in here defined. Okay. Next, on water rights disclosure, brokerage compensation, FinCEN. So the biggest thing to take away from here in paragraph 7.1 has been added to those contract forms. So light industry practices surrounding compensation, paragraph 12 has been reworded, and the new paragraph 12B has been added related to brokerage compensation. Paragraph 8B has also been removed. Additionally, the disclosure at the bottom of page 10 related to compensation between brokers has been removed to eliminate confusion. Okay. So FinCEN, remember that kind of started taking place back in March, and we went through all these trainings and all the things. Okay, so spurred by recent laws related to the Federal Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, language has been added to paragraph 20B, which requires the parties to provide information by the escrow agent for any governmental reporting, which is very important, why we should get this information as soon as possible. Requirements, and requires the buyer to pay any charges associated with gathering or reporting such information. So FinCEN reporting is on hold at this time due to a judge's orders, but FinCEN has filed an appeal, and we'll see where it takes us in the next few months. Okay. 7, 8, and 9. So paragraph 21, notices, was amended to clarify the acceptable delivery methods of those notices. So the revised paragraph also provides more options to the buyer, seller, and agent contact information. Okay. So to streamline and improve usability, the committee recommended that the agenda of the notices be incorporated in paragraph 22. Okay, so it's now categorized. How many of y'all putting in those addendums and check marking? You're like, where is this? Where is it, right? So now it's categorized into financial leases, additional tests and reports, statutory disclosures and notices, and other, right? So they kind of didn't have it in an order, so now it is. Several references requiring the agenda to be attached were removed from paragraph 6. Okay, and then 6E, section 12 was struck out entirely on the agenda. So broker information page has been further reorganized with updated formatting and terminology. So have y'all noticed that on that broker ratification page? I don't know why that was confusing to begin with on agents, but it's riveting. So now it's changed a little bit. Okay. Additional contract forms updated as of July 1st. So the unimproved property contract has been updated to the standard contract form for TREC, which is the addendum for backup contract, has been updated. So option fee, earnest money, and contract are now lowercase. Legal holiday is now uppercase. Okay, I know. 3, the new home contract in complete construction has some changes to it. 4, the new home contract completed construction also has updates. The standard contract form of TREC, farm and ranch, has also been updated, and those all have listing broker or other broker have changed from seller's broker to buyer's broker. Okay. And then the residential condominium contract resale has also been updated. Yes. So they've turned the terminology from other, right, to buyer or seller broker, and then capitalized legal. Holiday, and then lowercase contract, earnest money, all of that. Okay. I know I get it. Everything has been updated. The biggest thing for you to take away is also that groundwater conservation, right? Because that is the newest thing to us, right? So more adopted forms, July 1st. The standard TREC form, addendum for property subject to mandatory membership in property of owners association. So HOA. Yep. So paragraph A2, so the buyer is not obligated to provide subdivision information to the seller under that provision. So clarifying language is added to paragraph C to address conflicts that may arise. The term effective date is also capitalized, so you can see that is the effective date.
What changes is this, the form is not one of our contracts that you just mentioned, correct?
It's an addendum. Mm-hmm. Yep. The standard contract form TREC 39-10 amendment to the contract that has been updated to align with changes in the industry practices surrounding compensation. 3, the standard contract form and TREC 61-10 water notice, so seller's disclosure about groundwater and surface water rights. That's all new to us, right? So that's all up there. Notice that the seller's disclosure about groundwater and surface water rights was created. Okay, so that's the biggest thing that took place of this month, July 1st. So let's take a look just of what's ahead and some proposed changes that could be coming August 10th of this year. So at this time, the rules are open for public comment. They haven't been adopted. So you as an agent, if you agree or don't agree or have some sort of comment, you can message TREC, not me, but message TREC in regards to these things. Okay. So proposed licensing and education rules, right? Which we had stated. It's going from 360 to 720. So it's going to be a little bit harder for the Broker Responsibility Advisory Board. So they want to make sure that they have balanced representation on that board. So they're replacing 2 broker member positions with public member positions. Okay.
Was it one public position before? Because I know they had like a broker, I think, and then someone who wasn't a non-broker.
Yeah, so there's 13, I think, total, right? So they're wanting to put some more that are public members in there. Correct. Approval of qualifying courses. So just so you know, there's approval of courses that you have to take in regards to getting a CE and renewing. Responsibility and operations of providers of qualifying courses. So like myself, I have to go through curriculum so I can teach you guys, right? And ladies. So that's going to be held at a higher standard for us to complete certain curriculum. Responsibility and operations of providers of continuing education, and then continuing education requirements. So, making sure that we're all up to date in our licensing. So those are the biggest things that they're going to vote on the 10th of August. Okay, and I was hoping that inspector was going to be here so he could kind of cover, but so I have just a slide or two left, but there are a few things that are coming into effect for inspectors. So these updates that we thought that we would share with you. So a few changes in inspection world that give you an insight. The biggest things are going to be on the reports, are going to be more in depth on the electrical systems and the HVAC systems. So there's going to be a lengthier report on those 2 items. Next, key takeaways just for you to kind of think about. Yes, we know that the changes can be frustrating, but there's a reason for it, right? And we want to see ourselves still practicing a year from now. So make sure that you're using the right forms, you're talking to your clients, and hopefully those little breakdowns that I had given you and then the links will give you more confidence to be able to speak to your consumers or your clients, right, on the groundwater conservation, all those kind of things. So these are the biggest things for you to kind of take away here. And then for you who are looking at being brokers or supervisors, and that's pretty much my presentation today. So do y'all have any